All right, let's bring in retired Air Force Brigadier General John Teichert. General, thank you so much for your time here. So we heard from Pentagon officials, giving a little information, not giving a lot. When do you think we will actually have confirmation on whether or not Prigozhin was on that plane, whether or not he was actually killed, as well as how it was carried out?
Nichole, I think it's going to be a long time. The processes within Russia for an accident investigation are not transparent at all. And I think certainly Putin will be guiding the narrative throughout. And frankly, he's just as happy never to have to confirm both the death of Prigozhin and the nature of what happened on that plane. But I think the assumptions are all right, that he was probably on that plane. He certainly was manifest on it. And it likely was Putin finally enacting revenge for the mutiny from 2 months ago.
And as you say here, Putin will likely guide the narrative on this. But, Putin obviously, all fingers and all signs seem to point to Vladimir Putin. But who besides Putin would have not only the motive, but the ability to take out someone like Prigozhin?
So, Nichole, I think both Putin and his entire Ministry of Defense that Prigozhin undertook the mutiny against would have the motive and the capability to take down the plane. And whether it was a surface-to-air missile, and maybe it wasn't, but some sort of internal explosion or some other sabotage would easily be within the means and the desire of Putin and his Ministry of Defense.
And being that you were a pilot, we see the video there. Obviously, huge explosion once that plane hit the ground. What do you think could be behind this? What do you think possibly brought that plane down?
So I do think that it was likely some sabotage from the inside or from the outside. And certainly I think Putin calculated exactly when he wanted this revenge to take place. And I think he wanted it far enough removed from the mutiny so it didn't necessarily make Prigozhin a martyr. But I think he also wanted to make it very clear that he has the exclusive authority in his leadership in the Russian Federation.
In general, as we said at the top of this, Prigozhin was his one-time ally, was Putin's one-time ally. Here was this mutiny that was stopped. But should any enemy of Putin be constantly watching their backs at this point?
I think that's been the case for the 20-plus years that Putin has been in power. And the moment this mutiny took place, I knew it was a matter of time before Putin would enact his revenge. And he does so in a way to make it clear that he is the singular authority in Russia and that anybody who defies him absolutely has a shortened lifespan.
And we can't ignore, the fact that there is a war happening in the midst of all of this. If this is all true, what does it mean for the war with Ukraine?
I think ultimately the mutiny from 2 months ago indicated a fragility within the Russian forces. And I always had assumed that the Russian forces were fragile at the tactical and operational level. But ultimately, senior leaders of the Russian defense establishment, Prigozhin being one of them, are extremely frustrated by both the decision for the war and the lack of success within the war. And I think that the Wagner Group was the only actual operational capability that had demonstrated success for the Russians in the last year. And this is just another sign that there is a level of brittleness within Russia, and we may see ultimately Putin decide that continuing the war is not worth it. It's not going to be in the short term, but the more situations indicate that they are fragile, the more Putin's got to reassess his strategy.
Yeah, and that'd be interesting to see, how then he would back out of there. General Teichert, we certainly appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Nichole.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.